This woman, her name is Erica. She is 28 years old, she lives in Phoenix, Arizona, and she genuinely believes she did nothing wrong. She spent 6 years with a man named David, a man who loved her completely, a man who asked about her day, a man who never raised his voice, a man who wanted nothing more than to build a future with her. And she repaid that love by sleeping with his closest friend for 6 months, by storing photos and videos of their encounters on his own device, by letting him discover the truth in the most devastating way possible. But here is the part that will make your jaw drop. Erica is not sorry. She is not ashamed. She is not asking for forgiveness. She is angry that people are treating her like she did something wrong. Welcome back to Mrs. Emma Friends. I am Emma, your storyteller. And today I am bringing you one of the most frustrating and heartbreaking stories I have ever come across. This is a story about betrayal, about entitlement, about a woman who confused kindness for weakness and passion for love. So settle in. This one is going to take some time, because Erica has a lot to say, and I think you need to hear every single word of it. Erica wants you to know something before we go any further. She wants you to know that she is tired of being judged, tired of being called names, tired of everyone in Phoenix looking at her like she committed some unforgivable crime. In her mind, all she did was choose happiness. All she did was follow her heart. All she did was refuse to settle for something that no longer made her feel alive. Let me tell you how this story begins. Erica met David when she was 22 years old. He was everything society tells us a good man should be. He had a stable job in the technology industry. He paid his bills on time. He treated her with respect and consideration. He remembered important dates. He checked in on her when she seemed stressed. He listened when she talked about her problems. By all accounts, David was a catch. And for the first year or so, Erica agreed. Things were good between them. Really good, she admits. They laughed together. They built routines together. They became that couple their friends looked at with envy. But somewhere along the way, something shifted inside Erica. She started to notice things about David that bothered her. Not big things. Not obvious flaws. Just small irritations that grew larger with time. She noticed that he always asked permission. Before making plans, before suggesting activities, before expressing his own needs. He would phrase everything as a question. Is this okay with you? Would you be comfortable with this? What do you think we should do? At first, Erica found this sweet. Here was a man who genuinely cared about her opinion, who valued her comfort above his own desires. But as months turned into years, that sweetness began to taste sour. Erica started to see David's consideration as weakness, his gentleness as a lack of backbone, his willingness to compromise as an inability to take charge. She watched her friends with their boyfriends, men who made decisions without asking, men who took control of situations, men who demanded attention rather than requested it politely, and she began to wonder what she was missing. About a year into her relationship with David, Erica made a decision that would shape everything that came after. She started making excuses to avoid certain intimate activities with him. Now, I want to be careful here, friends. Everyone has the right to their own boundaries. Everyone has the right to say no to anything they do not want to do. That is not the issue here. The issue is why Erica made these excuses, and what she told herself about them. Erica claimed she had jaw problems, pain, discomfort, a clicking sound when she was stressed. And David, being the considerate man he was, accepted this explanation without question. He never pushed, never complained, never made her feel guilty for setting this boundary. He simply said, "Okay, whatever makes you comfortable." And Erica hated him for it. She hated that he accepted her excuse so easily. She hated that he did not challenge her or demand more from her. She hated that his primary concern was her comfort rather than his own satisfaction. She wanted him to show passion, to take charge, to act like a man who desperately wanted her and was willing to fight for what he desired. Instead, David respected her stated boundaries, every single time. They settled into a pattern. Certain activities only happened on special occasions, birthdays, anniversaries, major holidays. Just enough, Erica says, to keep him satisfied without feeling like a regular obligation on her part. And here is where Erica reveals something that I think tells us a lot about who she really is. She admits that David was grateful for even that small amount, that he appreciated whatever she was willing to give, that he never made her feel bad for the limitations she placed on their intimacy. Most people would see this as a sign of a loving, patient partner, someone who valued the whole relationship over any single aspect of it. Erica saw it as proof that David did not want her enough, that his love was weak, that he lacked the fire she craved. 3 years into their relationship, David asked Erica to move in with him. He talked about building a life together, about saving money on rent, about waking up next to her every morning, about creating a real home as a couple. Erica said no. She told him she needed her independence, that living with someone full-time sounded suffocating, that she valued having her own space too much to give it up. But here is what she admits to herself, even if she does not fully understand what it means. The thought of waking up to David's face every morning made her want to scream. His concerned expressions, his gentle questions about how she slept, his constant care for her well-being, it all felt like too much, like a weight pressing down on her, like a cage made of kindness. So they kept their separate apartments, maintained their separate lives, played the role of a committed couple without ever fully committing. Their friends thought they were perfect together. Stable, solid. The kind of relationship everyone else should aspire to. And Erica let them believe it. Because explaining the truth felt too complicated. Because admitting that perfect and boring were the same thing to her would make her look bad. So she smiled. She played along. She pretended to be happy, all while something dark was growing inside her. Among David's close friends was a man named Dominic. Erica noticed him immediately. He had personality, she says, more life in his little finger than David had in his entire body. He was funny, bold, the kind of man who did not ask permission to take up space in a room. Everything David was not. Dominic was always friendly toward Erica. Perhaps a little too friendly, she admits. In ways that David never seemed to notice, or maybe chose not to notice, because David trusted both of them completely. The foundation was laid. All it needed was a spark. That spark came about 8 months before everything fell apart. David was working late one evening and Dominic came by to watch a sports game. Just a normal, friendly visit. Nothing unusual. But something happened during that visit that changed everything. They talked. Really talked, according to Erica. Not the surface-level conversations she had with David. Not the routine check-ins about work and weather and what to have for dinner. Dominic listened to her, asked follow-up questions, remembered things she had told him before, made eye contact in a way that felt intense and focused. He paid attention to her. And Erica had been starving for exactly that kind of attention for years. They started texting after that night. Nothing inappropriate at first. Funny messages, complaints about their days, normal friend things. But gradually, the conversations became more personal, more intimate, more charged. Dominic would ask how she was really doing, not just the polite version. He noticed when she was stressed, when something was bothering her, when she needed someone to see her, not just look at her. When Erica complained about David being boring or predictable, Dominic did not lecture her about being grateful. He did not defend his friend. He just listened, and agreed, and made her feel understood. Erica started putting more effort into how she looked when she knew Dominic would be around. Started counting down the days until she might see him again. Started comparing every interaction with David to those electric conversations with his friend. And David noticed nothing, because David trusted the woman he loved, because the thought that she might betray him never even crossed his mind. 6 months before David discovered the truth, the emotional affair became physical. David was out of town for work. He asked Dominic to check on Erica while he was gone, because that is what good friends do. Because he wanted to make sure the woman he loved was okay. Dominic came over. They opened wine. They talked about everything, their dreams, their frustrations. The things Erica never discussed with David because she had decided long ago that he would not understand. One thing led to another. And Erica made a discovery that night that she would use to justify everything that came after. With Dominic, she never once thought about her jaw hurting. All those years of excuses with David. All those claims about discomfort and pain and physical limitations. They vanished completely when she was with someone else. Because, she tells herself, when someone actually makes you feel wanted, when they are not just going through the motions, everything changes. I want you to sit with that for a moment, friends. Really think about what Erica is saying here. She is admitting that her years of excuses to David were not about physical discomfort at all. They were about desire, about attraction, about how she felt toward him versus how she felt toward someone new and exciting. She is admitting that she lied to David for years, made him think he was being a good partner by respecting her boundaries, when those boundaries were never real in the first place. And she sees nothing wrong with this. The affair continued for 6 months. They met regularly. At her apartment, at his place. Never at David's home, because Erica says she is not completely heartless. They took photos together, videos, documentation of their betrayal. Because unlike with David, Erica actually wanted to remember these moments. She wanted proof that she could feel passionate about someone. Evidence that she was not broken or incapable of desire, just selective about who received it. Here is where the story takes its darkest turn. Erica was at David's apartment one day while he was at work. His dog got sick on the bed, and she decided to crash in the spare room rather than deal with the mess. That spare room is where David keeps his Apple TV. And while scrolling through apps, Erica saw the photos. Now David would later tell people that he stumbled upon evidence of the affair by accident, that he was blindsided by what he found. But Erica wants you to know something. Something that reveals exactly who she is as a person. Those photos were not an accident. They were in a folder Erica herself had created, a folder she had been adding to for months. She wanted David to find them. Let that sink in. She could have kept the affair secret forever, could have hidden the evidence on her own devices, could have spared David the pain of discovering his girlfriend's betrayal in the most graphic way possible. But deep down, she admits, maybe she wanted him to find out. Maybe she was tired of pretending. Maybe she wanted to see if losing her would finally make him show some emotion. Because even David's devastation, she hoped, would be interesting, would prove he was capable of passion, would make their boring relationship finally feel like something worth having. She used his pain as a test, and she did not care how much damage it caused. When David came home that day and found Erica in the spare room, she knew immediately that something was wrong. But here is how she describes his reaction. He had this weird look on his face, she says, like someone had told him his favorite restaurant was closing. Not angry, not devastated, just confused and slightly inconvenienced. Even in this moment, Erica cannot stop criticizing him, cannot stop finding his response inadequate, cannot stop expecting him to perform his pain in a way she finds satisfying. David asked if they could talk, used that careful tone he always used. The one Erica calls walking on eggshells instead of recognizing it for what it truly was. Respect, consideration, love. She waited for him to bring up the photos, curious to see how he would handle it. Would he finally show backbone, get angry, demand answers? Instead, David sat on the edge of the bed and asked in what Erica calls the most pathetic voice imaginable, "Can you explain what I saw on the Apple TV?" Not accusations, not screaming, not violence. Just a simple request for understanding. And Erica almost laughed at him. She told him the truth. Yes, those were photos of her with Dominic. Yes, they had been seeing each other for months. She figured honesty was the least she could do. And maybe, she admits, she hoped it would finally provoke a real reaction. But David did not explode with rage, did not throw things or make threats. He just sat there, processing, trying to understand. Then he asked a question that made Erica realize, in her words, how completely clueless he really was. Is it because I am not good enough at that stuff? Not why did you cheat? Not how could you do this to me? He wanted to know if he had failed her somehow, if there was something he could have done differently. Even with photographic evidence of her betrayal right in front of him, David's first instinct was to look inward, to wonder if he was the problem, to take responsibility for her choices. And Erica felt almost bad for him. Almost. Erica tried to explain herself to David that day, tried to make him understand why she had done what she did. It was not about technique, she told him. It was about enthusiasm, about feeling wanted versus feeling like someone was checking off a relationship obligation. She told him that with Dominic, she never once thought about her jaw hurting, because she actually wanted to be doing those things. David kept asking questions. Why she never told him she wanted more enthusiasm. Why she did not communicate her needs. Why she let him believe everything was fine for 6 years. But Erica says he was missing the point entirely. You cannot teach someone to want you the way you need to be wanted, she told him. You cannot explain passion into existence. Either someone makes you feel that spark, or they do not. And David never did. He kept suggesting solutions. Counseling. Working on their intimacy. Books about improving relationships. He was desperate to find something he could do. Some action he could take to fix what she had broken. But Erica had already made her decision. She did not want to fix them, because she did not think they were broken. They were just wrong for each other, and she was done pretending otherwise. Within a week of the breakup, half their friend group knew the entire story. And everyone, Erica complains, only heard David's version. Her best friend Jenna called her crying. Actually crying, Erica emphasizes, as if this response was somehow unreasonable. Jenna asked how Erica could do something so devastating to such a good man. Erica found this ridiculous. They were just dating, she says, not married with children. Why was everyone acting like she had committed some unforgivable sin? Jenna told her she should have talked to David about her needs instead of cheating, that she threw away something real for temporary excitement. The whole conversation made Erica want to scream. Then David's sister Sarah started texting, long messages about disappointment, about how heartbroken David was, about how she thought Erica was better than this. Sarah even asked if Erica had considered how this would affect David's friendship with Dominic, as if that was somehow Erica's responsibility to manage. Co-workers started gossiping. Friends grew distant. The whole social circle that Erica and David had built together suddenly saw her as the villain, and Erica cannot understand why. Everyone keeps acting like David is this perfect boyfriend who did not deserve this, she complains. They list all his good qualities: reliable, kind, steady job, never cheated. As if being a decent human being means I owe him lifelong devotion regardless of whether I'm actually happy. Now here is where the story gets even more complicated. While everyone was busy condemning Erica, the one person who should have supported her disappeared completely. Dominic, the man she had risked everything for, suddenly became impossible to reach. At first, things seemed fine. He texted her normally, told her not to worry about what people thought, said what they had was real and worth fighting for. But then David must have confronted him, because overnight everything changed. Dominic's responses became shorter, less frequent, more careful. When Erica suggested they could finally be together openly, he started making excuses. He needed time to process. He felt bad about David. He was not sure starting a relationship this way was healthy. Healthy, Erica scoffs. Where was this concern about health when he was eagerly participating in their affair? She finally confronted him at his apartment, and what she learned there destroyed her. Dominic had never seen their relationship as serious. According to him, it was just fun, physical, nothing more. He thought Erica was going through a phase and would eventually work things out with David. A phase, Erica says. 6 months of the most intense connection she had ever felt, dismissed as a temporary distraction. He told her they should stop seeing each other completely, that it would be best for everyone, meaning best for him and his friendship with David. Suddenly, maintaining his bromance was more important than the woman he had been sneaking around with for months. He even suggested Erica should consider getting back together with David, that maybe this whole situation would help them communicate better. Erica could not believe it. This man had seen her at her most vulnerable, had made her feel things she never felt with David. And now he was telling her to go back to the person she left him for. When she pointed out that he was abandoning her when she needed support most, he got defensive, started talking about taking responsibility for their choices. Easy to talk about responsibility, Erica says, when your consequences are just an awkward conversation with a buddy, when you get to walk away while I lose everything. 3 months have passed since everything fell apart. Erica has become the cautionary tale everyone whispers about, the woman who had everything and threw it away for nothing. David, meanwhile, has transformed into a folk hero in their social circle. Everyone suddenly remembers what a catch he was, how devoted, how any woman would be lucky to have him. But here is what really bothers Erica. David is thriving. He started therapy, joined a hiking group, got a promotion at work. People keep posting photos of him looking happy and confident. Like losing Erica was the best thing that ever happened to him. While she, the one who was supposedly choosing her own happiness, is more miserable than she has ever been. The dating scene is a nightmare. Men either want nothing serious because they assume she is just looking for fun, or they are intimidated by her history. When she does go on dates, she compares everyone to both David and Dominic. Nobody has David's stability and kindness. Nobody has Dominic's intensity. She is searching for an impossible combination that probably does not exist. Work has become unbearable. Co-workers gossip, give her judgmental looks, make comments about people who cannot appreciate what they have. Her friendship with Jenna never recovered. There is this weird distance now. Jenna keeps sending screenshots of David's social media posts. Pictures of him hiking or at dinner with friends, always with comments like he looks really good or I am glad he is doing well. Erica finally had to block her. The absolute worst moment came last weekend. Erica ran into David at a coffee shop. Phoenix is not that big. It was inevitable. But nothing prepared her for what she saw. David was with a woman. Blonde, outdoorsy looking. The kind of person who probably thinks David's considerate nature is the most romantic thing in the world. They were laughing together, and David looked more animated than Erica had seen him in years. When he spotted her, he waved, smiled. Like they were old friends. No anger, no awkwardness, just genuine politeness. Like their 6 years together meant so little that he could just smile and wave at the grocery store. Erica wanted to march over there, remind him that she was the one who left him. She was the one who decided he was not enough. So why does he get to look so content? Why does he get to move on and find happiness while she struggles to figure out what she even wants? Everyone keeps telling Erica she will learn from this experience, that she will grow as a person, that everything happens for a reason. But she does not feel like she learned anything, except that people are fake, and everyone loves a victim. If she had to do it over again, she admits she might handle things differently. Maybe break up with David before getting involved with Dominic. Maybe be more careful about keeping things private. But she refuses to pretend she was wrong for wanting more. She refuses to apologize for choosing passion over comfort, even if it did not work out the way she hoped. And here is her final thought, the one that tells us everything about who Erica really is. Seeing David move on so easily just proves she was right all along. He never really wanted her the way she needed to be wanted. If he had, losing her would have destroyed him, not made him into this confident new version of himself that everyone is so impressed with. So everyone can keep treating her like the villain. But at least she knows what real passion feels like, even if it was temporary. That is more than most people can say about their boring, predictable relationships. And that, my friends, is where Erica's story ends. I have been sitting with this one for a while now, turning it over in my mind, trying to understand how someone could see themselves so differently from how the world sees them. Because here is what I see when I look at Erica's story. I see a woman who confused kindness for weakness, who saw David's consideration and patience and respect as flaws rather than gifts. I see someone who lied to her partner for years, who made him believe he was doing everything right while she secretly resented him for respecting her boundaries. I see a person who betrayed not just her boyfriend, but his trust in his closest friend, who stored evidence of that betrayal on his own device, who admits she wanted him to find it, just to see if he would finally show emotion. I see someone who expected Dominic to leave everything behind for her, and was shocked when he turned out to be exactly the kind of selfish, uncommitted person who would help someone cheat in the first place. And I see a woman who still, after all of this, cannot understand why people are upset with her. David was not perfect. No one is. But he loved Erica the best way he knew how. And she threw that away because his love was too gentle, too consistent, too safe. She wanted passion. She wanted intensity. She wanted someone who would make her heart race. And when she found it, she discovered that intensity without integrity is just chaos. That passion without respect is just destruction. David is thriving now. Not because he did not care about Erica, but because he recognized that her choices said everything about her and nothing about his worth as a person. He went to therapy, worked on himself, built a life that did not depend on someone else's validation. And Erica is miserable, searching for something she cannot find, because she never understood that love is not just about how someone makes you feel in the moment. It is about who someone is when the moments are ordinary, when the passion fades into partnership, when the excitement becomes comfort. David offered her a lifetime of being cared for, of being respected, of being loved without conditions, and she called it boring. I wonder sometimes what Erica will think in 10 years, in 20, when she looks back at the man who would have done anything for her, the man she threw away because he loved her too gently. Will she finally understand what she lost? Or will she still be telling herself she was right to want more? Thank you so much for listening to this story today, friends. I know this one was heavy. I know it brought up a lot of feelings. That is why I share these stories with you, because sometimes we need to see the worst of human nature to appreciate the best of it. If this story made you think, if it made you feel something, please take a moment to like this video. Your support means everything to me and helps this channel grow. If you know someone who needs to hear this story, share it with them. Sometimes the lessons we learn from other people's mistakes are the most valuable ones. And if you have not already, please subscribe to Mrs. Emma and turn on notifications so you never miss another story. I post new content regularly, and I would hate for you to miss what is coming next. Leave me a comment below. I want to know what you think about Erica, about David, about whether passion is worth more than partnership. I read every single comment, and I love hearing your perspectives. This is Emma, your storyteller, signing off for today. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And remember, friends, the love that lasts is not always the love that burns brightest. Sometimes it is the love that stays warm year after year without ever burning out. Until next time.